The DuPage County Public Works Department provides water and sewer services to over 200,000 customers throughout DuPage County. The department's wastewater division oversees the collection, transmission, and treatment of wastewater. The department meets or exceeds all applicable federal, state, and local water quality standards pertaining to the treatment of wastewater. This process occurs at 3 facilities, including the Woodridge Green Valley Wastewater Treatment Facility. Dave Vogel is the principal wastewater operator at the facility. Dave explains what happens from the time wastewater leaves a resident's home.
So all of the water in the collection system makes its way to what we call our headworks building, and it first is screened for solids, inorganic solids, rocks, leaves, twigs, things that people would flush, plastics down a toilet. And then the water is pumped up into what we call our aeration tanks. That's where the biology starts. That's where the actual natural process of extracting the more toxic or volatile nutrients in the water, ammonia and phosphorus and such. It sits in there for a few hours. Flows, the amount of flow that's coming into the plant at any given time will have an effect on how much time the water sits inside that tank there. So after the water sits in that particular phase of treatment, it makes its way into our clarifiers. Now the clarifiers is where we begin to separate those biological and organic solids from the clean water. That separation takes place in these clarifiers here. The solids make their way down to the bottom of those tanks. The clear water filters out over what we call weirs, and then that clean water is then pumped up into our nitrification towers, where we treat the water even further for ammonia removal and such. The clean water, the effluent, which is the industry term for what we are going to discharge into the river, that goes through the nitro towers and that makes its way into the sand filters for further polishing, where we're really getting the microscopic, really tiny, small suspended solids out of the water. And once they leave the sand filters, they make their way into our final effluent building or our disinfection building before it makes its way out into the river. Now, it's my job to make sure that the water that comes into this plant, which I have no control over, is the absolute cleanest it can be before it goes out to those rivers and streams. The work that I do here affects the people that live down in the Gulf of Mexico and New Orleans, because the flow basically is it goes to the DuPage River, to the Illinois River, to the Mississippi River, and from the Mississippi River down to the Gulf of Mexico. So the work I do here could have an impact on the people who live in New Orleans. I take that very serious.